What's something you always thought was normal, but really wasn't? Synesthesia is see sound as pretty fireworks all the time. I thought that the reason chalk on a blackboard made everyone in class cringe was because they were seeing the bright, blinding blue light it produced that I saw. I grew up in Philadelphia. Every Christmas we would go over to a neighbor's house and open all the presents under their Christmas tree. At the time, my dad told me that while we were doing this, our neighbors were at our house doing the same thing. It turns out that we were just breaking into people's houses and stealing their presents. No, the tradition is having a bunch of Santas bring you presents, then go upstairs and cheer up your mom. I thought brownies were supposed to be really gooey in the middle. It turns out that my mom baking brownies in the microwave resulted in severely undercooked brownies. I don't make brownies, I make hot brownie batter. My fiancée didn't know that meat was supposed to be juicy until she met me. Her parents prefer a nice internal temperature of about 200 degrees Celsius. As a Chinese person, it was so bizarre to me that people wore their shoes in the house. It actually grosses me out quite a bit. I'm Canadian and everyone takes their shoes off here. It just feels wrong wearing shoes inside. They're so dirty. I'm white and everyone I've ever known, mostly white with a smattering of diversity, has discouraged if not banned wearing shoes in the house. Who are these people and how do they keep their floors clean? Easy, you wipe your shoes on the mat before coming in. Drinking milk at dinner. I thought literally everyone did this until I moved away from home. This was one of the worst parts of my childhood, I think. My mom would serve a big glass of old skim milk with dinner, possibly watered down further to make it last, so it was gross. I didn't like milk to begin with. My body also couldn't digest it. So somewhere between the middle of the night to well into the next morning, I'd have terrible abdominal pain and nasty milk farts. This was my entire childhood. From kindergarten through the beginning of high school, I had to fart all throughout the day to keep from feeling like my insides were ripping open. Not once did anyone question my diet. People don't do this? I drank milk during dinner last night. Not looking at your own body in the mirror. I grew up in a religious family and I was told that looking at naked people is wrong. I thought this counted for your own body as well. So I literally spent around 14 years of my life never looking at my completely naked body in the mirror. Bagged milk. I'm from Quebec. I saw a bunch of bagged milk while visiting Canada. Why was it in a bag? No one buys bags of soda or bags of gasoline for their car. Why put milk in a bag? It's all in a big bag in the cow, and the Canadians want their milk to be under as little stress as possible, so consider it. Then they take it from the cow, straight into the bag, and the milk doesn't even know it left the udder. Then it reaches the consumer, and they drink it with their poutine. Eating the same thing for a couple weeks in a row, like rice or baked chicken. We were just poor, and that was what was on sale that week. The way my so and I deal with food is the number one way you can tell we were raised in vastly different income brackets. He wants a different restaurant-style meal served to him every night, and I scrounge the pantry looking for rice as I eat cold lunch meat waiting for it to cook. I'm 23 and I only learned that other people don't do this a few weeks ago. I just have simple tastes. I can eat rice and peas for weeks and be happy. I can make my eyes shake really fast, and until I was 8 I didn't realize that other people could actually see my eyes vibrating. I thought it was all in my head. Apparently other people don't wipe standing up. How is this even possible? Doesn't your ass crack close up when you stand? You see, there are Romans and barbarians. Romans wipe sitting down and help to maintain a clean facility. Barbarians wipe standing up and just let what happens happen. Don't be a barbarian, be a Roman. Wearing my watch on my right hand while being right-handed. No one told me it's usually on the other hand. I wear mine on the left, and I'm left-handed. It never once occurred to me to switch arms. And now it feels weird to do it otherwise. This is one of those things where you only know once someone tells you the stupid unspoken rule. Why do I have to wear it on my opposite hand, society? I protest, it's going on my foot now. Calling a remote control a box. I think it was just because my dad couldn't ever remember what it was called and was basically calling it that rectangle-shaped thing, out of frustration. And my mom probably just thought it was funny and adopted it too. 21 years later, I was all like, "Hey dude, pass me the box." "The what?" "The box." "What?" I had no idea that it was a made-up term. I see colorful, moving dots everywhere, at all times, eyes open or closed. I thought everyone saw like this until I was in high school. Turns out it was called visual snow. I hear a really high-pitched ringing noise whenever it's really quiet. I thought everyone heard that. Nope, I just have tinnitus. Being extremely possessive about mugs. Just mugs, not any other dishes or silverware. In my family, each person has one or more mugs, and you do not drink out of another person's mug, even if it's clean. I didn't realize this wasn't normal until my friend started drinking out of my mug as if it was okay. I would fuck someone up over drinking out of my coffee cup. This is going to sound really gross, but up until age 8 I threw away my used toilet paper into the garbage can in the bathroom. Looking back, I can't believe I did that, but my mom is from the Philippines and I've heard that is what they do in countries with bad plumbing. I stopped when my friend came over and called me weird for doing that. We were in a really shitty Chinese bathroom once, with squat pot toilets and really dirty. My brother had to take a dump, so he goes, and then discovers there's no toilet paper. He looks around and he sees the trash can full of tissues. He said he thought it was just papers people used to cover the seat lid or stuff like that, so it was mostly clean. He had no other choice, so he used the tissue to wipe his own ass, except as soon he began to wipe he realized the tissue was already moist and had lumpy stuff on it. That's when he looked down and saw the tissue had already been used. He threw up a little and got it on his shoes, which made him even more disgusted. Eventually he manned up and used his underwear as toilet paper and just silently cried about the whole thing afterwards, hoping he didn't get AIDS. My brother may or may not be me. Homosexuality being acceptable. I have a very diverse, open, and accepting family and had no idea that homosexuality was as controversial as it until I was around 16-17. That made me sad. That actually makes me really happy. That your parents raised you to not know it was controversial, I mean. I wonder what life would be like if we all were raised like you. Well, I always ate instant noodles without boiling them. I opened the pack, poured the flavor in, scrambled the package and ate them raw. In my hometown many people did it, but apparently when I told other people of that in a different town they were like, "What?" My son came home from school and told me about this. The pupils apparently eat it like crisps. I tried it, and it tastes good. This is going to sound completely ridiculous, but I swear that I, a guy, really thought for years that everyone fantasized about making out with other guys all of the time. I'm bisexual, so obviously I had the same thoughts about girls, so my thought process was something along the lines of, well, I like girls, so I'm clearly not gay. Oh, I must be straight and everyone must have these thoughts. It legitimately took until I was 15 or 16 before I finally learned that most guys do not have dreams about sexy times with other dudes. I seriously didn't realize until I was 13 or 14 that most girls didn't obsess over how pretty other girls were. Well, they do, but not in the way that I'm referring to. I thought it was normal, I think. Gee, if I were a guy I'd totally want to date her. Then I learned what bisexuality was. Saying a prayer before every meal. I was raised Mormon, so we'd say a prayer before every meal, blessing the food and thanking God for it, and waiters. I went to a friend's house to eat once and I was so confused when everyone just started eating as soon as the food came. I've always had to wait for the whole family to sit down, and then we could only start after the prayer. The reverse happened the first time I ate at my now wife's parents' place. Food is on the table, we all sit down, mother-in-law says, "Is everyone ready?" I am ready and pick up my cutlery, promptly causing my sister-in-law to impale her hand on my knife as she tries to hold hands for the prayer. She got a plaster, I got a shout-out in the prayer. Murder. Growing up I thought murder was normal. Tragic, but just something that happens, like cancer. It wasn't until I got to college that I realized most people didn't know anyone that was murdered. I grew up sharing a bed with my mother because we could only afford a small one-bedroom apartment when I was younger. My father lived elsewhere. We can now afford a 3-bedroom apartment. I have my own bedroom. I still share a bed with my mother. We've just gotten used to it. She gets nightmares otherwise. I didn't realize it was a big deal until I mentioned it to a friend. Female here, so y'all won't get any weird ideas. My flexibility. I found out when people started gasping when I was stretching that people get headaches if they eat too much cheese or ice cream. Turns out I'm lactose intolerant. My friends looked at me like I was crazy after dinner when I said, "God, this cheese headache won't go away." I'm stereo blind, which essentially means that I don't see in 3D. Ever. I have no depth perception. I had no idea that the world wasn't flat looking to everyone else. No wonder I sucked at sports as a kid. I called flip-flops thongs where I grew up. Moved to where it wasn't and went to a pool party. I lost my flip-flops and proceeded to ask all my friends if they had seen my thongs. Really awkward, as it took me asking like 3 people for them to figure out I meant something else. My first child was nearly deaf due to a weird deformity at birth that caused his ears, and all his sinus cavities, to be constantly full of fluid, and didn't speak until he had corrective surgery at the age of 3. My second child didn't have the same problem, and when he started talking at a year, I seriously thought I needed to call a priest. It was freaky. He had the creepiest Furby voice. What did you later realize wasn't actually normal? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.